Yo, welcome back to another Friday Fireside Chat on Reparenting Daily. Today, we're getting a little bit of a dark topic. But I was listening to Pompouros on a few of her lectures that she's been giving, and also as we cross this month of emotional intelligence and get ready to approach the week on strengthening your social and communication skills, right? My number one concern in all of this journey is how to keep myself safe. It's because when you're not parented, you're not giving the skills that you need to survive in life. And when you're not giving the skills you need to survive in life, people can tell. And when people can tell that you haven't had the training or support or nurturing that you need to be a full human, they can exploit that for their own advantage. And society doesn't really mind if they do that. Society almost rewards that because we live in a predatory society. That is what the society that we live in. That is what the society that we live in values. They may say that they value Christian morality, caring, and supporting others, but the things that are actually rewarded are human predation, exploitation. And because people who are in the process of reparenting are normally quite vulnerable, depending on where you are in your process, it's something that I keep coming back to for so long because I am really, afraid and not feeling safe or have not felt safe. And so I'm trying to figure out a way to create that safety for myself and then to help others find a way to build that for themselves. And so that's why I wanted to share this topic today on predator, prey, or perhaps human. And so I wanted to share this talk by Pompouros. So you can find her online. She's had many different talks. She's an excellent woman with plenty of valuable insights. And they tie directly into this month's theme of emotional intelligence and the coming week's theme of developing social and communication skills. How to protect yourself. Let's listen to what she has to say.
People who pray don't look like prey. It's not about what people look like. You don't know what's inside someone. Anybody is capable of anything at any given moment in time if given the opportunity. And what's also interesting, what I learned about predators, do you know who they prey on? Kids, number one, because they're easy to prey on. Women, number two, there's that physical thing there. And then the elderly. 3 populations that are preyed upon the most by predators. If I tell you that, then what does that tell you about a predator?
They're pretty weak.
Exactly. I'm not picking on the guy that's going to give me a run for my money. I want easy prey. So a big part of it is your mindset. And this is for anybody. It's like if people feel like you got a little bit of crazy, they're going to think twice. I'm sorry. It's true. You want people to be like, I'm not telling you to go around being crazy person. You just want people to feel, I don't want to cross a line with her or with him or whoever. Just let them feel it. And that has to do with respect. It has to do with the way you carry yourself. It has to do with what you emanate out there.
All right, guys, welcome back. Now, as we listen to Evie, what we realize is that, in order to protect yourself, this is someone who was a former FBI agent or police, somewhere in the police and intelligence force. So she's a legit. She knows what the fuck she's talking about, right? And you have to be able to give off that edge. And this edge is what I realized, something that many trauma survivors, childhood trauma survivors, those with CPTSD are lacking. In fact, we tend to project the opposite, and people tend to pick up on that, which is how they find us as easy targets for exploitation and abuse. And because we have been raised in abuse and neglect, we don't realize when we're being abused. And so it's like that frog in the boiling water slowly, is this kind of thing. And so my goal here is to help you be able to protect yourself a bit more than perhaps you have been able to before. When we're looking at this process of reparenting, protecting ourselves from those predators, there are certain skills and ways of being that we have to learn to manifest, to leverage in order to keep ourselves safe. Here she mentioned one of those, but the most important is realizing that you are not truly at the mercy of someone else, because all of those predators, they are actually truly weak, as she mentioned. That's why they always choose the weakest targets, or what they perceive to be the weakest targets. And so what you can do if you are someone who grew up in childhood trauma and neglect and abuse and are stuck in the cycle of mistreatment is to realize that you do have power. You're not powerless. You can change your behaviors because there is a part in every equation, right? Now, I'm not saying that they were right to abuse you, but you were also exhibiting behaviors that demonstrated to them that you are an easy target, which is why they selected you. And with that in mind, you can also change those behaviors to better protect yourself. And so now, I would like to just remind you, that there are people out there who most people, unfortunately, I would think, are not really on this path of trying to heal or address their childhood trauma because, to be honest, they don't have time. It takes so much work and pain and struggle to face these old wounds, and most people don't have time or capacity or even awareness to begin understanding it. And with that being said, you have to protect yourself. You have to be able to approach situations and people in the right frame. And you have to stay grounded in yourself. And so, people will likely target you because you have been unparented, and people can sniff that out. But you also have the capacity to learn the skills that you need and the presentation and performance, even I dare say, to protect yourself and to dissuade those people from entering your space in the first place. But as Jordan Peterson says, you have to have the monster within you, but you have to have the ability to tame and control that monster. The society that we live in is not just nowadays, but since the beginning of time, it's been a very aggressive, the state of nature type place. We only have this social contract to keep us in order, but by default, humans are aggressive species who seek their own self-interest. And because of the level of traumatization and lack of access to resources, and people who just don't care or who are stuck on the surface level, they're willing to skip over you or to exploit you or use you and abuse you for their own selfish gain. You must be aware of that. You cannot stay naive to that, or you will be stuck in a life that you don't want. You must protect yourself here. And for that, you must be able to show teeth, which is what Evie is telling us. And so this is what I mean when I say, predator, prey, or human. Because the predators are also not human. They are, what is the word? Incessantly or compulsively is the word, searching for new victims to dominate, to prove that they are worthy. And then the prey have been so dehumanized repeatedly that they don't even exist on their own. So the third option is to be a human, right? As we seek to build a better world with more connectedness and support and love and caring, compassion, I urge us all to choose to be human, to realize that each of us are human, that we all have our own faults, mistakes, misgivings, and to learn that we all have the chance, or the right, I should say, to be safe. We all have the right to be safe, and you have the right to protect yourself and to gain the awareness that you need. I know there's a lot to learn if you're in this process, but you are not hopeless. You can learn it. And you can protect yourself and keep yourself safe. So with that being said, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful Friday and a fantastic weekend.